My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC Vegas 24, we have Bartosz Fabinski versus Gerald Meerschaert. This is an interesting fight. This is a ton of fun. I'm really looking forward to this one. And this card, to go on a little rant here, a lot of these cards recently are not ripe with star power, although Meerschaert's, kind of a name at this point. They're not ripe with star power, but the matchups are all phenomenal. And this is another one. This is a rock solid matchup. Super close fight. I'm going to go right to you, Dan. What are your thoughts? How do you see this going?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a very close fight. I mean, we look at both guys on paper. So Fabinski lost 2 of his last 3, but he won 7 straight before that. He's 3-2 in the UFC. It was weird. He was 3-1 in the UFC, and then I think he got cut or whatever, had an issue, and then he won 1 and came back. But both of his losses to Andre Muniz and Michael Prazeres were submissions in the first round. So watching tape on him, he's very aggressive out of the gates, just instantly going for clinch takedowns. He did that against Muniz. Muniz defended well, but once Fabinski got on top, actually Fabinski didn't even get a takedown. He got guillotined, almost submitted, and then when he finally broke free, he got submitted via armbar. He definitely had the same game plan against Aaron Stewart, smothered him against the cage, going for takedowns. It does not look like he is that strong of a striker. So I think he's got one path to victory here, and I think everybody knows what it is, including Meerschaert. So Meerschaert being a almost 50-fight veteran, I would think he's well prepared for this. But on paper, he has lost 5 of his last 7. He got starched by Khamzat his last fight, and Ian Heinisch, both in the first round. But then he's got one of his other losses is a split decision to Holland. So he's fighting some top guys, making it close. And then he submitted Deron Wynn, he submitted Trevin Giles. So he's one of those guys that's very good, but not great, I would say. If he shows up, he can make it interesting with anybody. But if he doesn't show up, he could go out and get starched in 20 seconds. Probably not in this fight, but I think this fight is very close, but I'm going to go with Meerschaert just on being more experienced, and stylistically, I think this is about as good of a matchup as he can get. He's fine on the ground. He's comfortable there. I think he can beat Fabinski on the feet if he needs to, although, I wouldn't say Meerschaert is the best striker, but I think he's better than Fabinski. So I just think this is stylistically the best type of matchup that Meerschaert could get. He's good on the ground. I think he'll win the ground exchanges. I don't see this fight really being a lot of points in DraftKings. I don't think. I see a lot of defense on the cage. I could be wrong, but I'm not touching this for DraftKings unless I really not. I mean, $7,900, $8,300. Yeah, no, I'm not touching this one. So I think it'll be a close fight, but I think Meerschaert's experience and just overall skills being slightly better and more well-rounded, I think he'll win the fight.
Yeah, we couldn't be farther apart on this. So really? First off, Fabinski looks exactly like our old Bellator buddy and your coach, or one of your coaches on The Ultimate Fighter, Zach Light. They look identical.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And I'm sure they fight the same way too. And I'm going with Fabinski. You're right. He's a one-dimensional wrestler, zero bones about it. He talks about it. And I think that's a problem. I think it's a genuine problem. And Meerschaert's coming off of 2 bad knockout losses. He doesn't have to worry about the knockout in this fight, but he does need to keep it standing because you're right. He is a good grappler. He's like a grappler by nature. That's his background, but he doesn't seem to be grappling very much, honestly. And I think if he gets taken down, which he will eventually in this fight, I don't know how busy he's going to be. I don't know what he's going to be able to do down there. I think Fabinski wins. I think these odds are solid, meaning it is a close fight, but I think Fabinski wins. I do have in my DraftKings because $8,300 is a good price for somebody that will get takedown points, will get riding time. I don't know if he'll win by stoppage, but I imagine his top control is insane, and he's very busy when he's on top. So I think if he gets it to the mat, I don't think Meerschaert's getting back up, at least not in that round. But I think he'll eat a lot of strikes and will get a lot of control time. So $8,300, I do like that. So you and I are pretty far apart on this one, so this will be interesting. But Jacob, how do you see it going? What are you doing? Why are you smirking?
I want you to replay what you just said in the recap video on Sunday, because you couldn't be further from reality on Fabinski. His striking, first of all, is non-existent, and he's that's all he does is go for takedowns. But if you watch Gerald, he's got great takedown defense, and his striking is 100 times better than Fabinski's going to be. So if you combine the two, the takedown defense, even if he gets taken down, he'll just find a way to submit Fabinski. But I think he finds a way to just keep it on his feet. I think he finds a way to make Fabinski strike. And when that starts happening, Fabinski's going to start panicking and just diving at legs. And it's going to be one of those TKOs where he's hanging on a leg type of thing. So I think Gerald takes this at $7,900. You have to have underdogs in your lineups. And a lot of times, underdogs are right around that 50-50 mark as a toss up. I think this is the best, underdog you can get value at $7,900 on the card. I think he wins it. I think this was a tailor-made matchup for him. I think, like you said, he's struggling with people that were very good strikers. I think this was a tailor-made matchup for him because I think the UFC knows that they have good talent here with Gerald. So he's in my lineup, and I pick him to win.
Appreciate you doing that for me, Jacob, because I was gonna jump in there, and then you were all over it. Appreciate that.
I'm just not. I mean, we'll see how it goes. Nick picked Meerschaert as well, so I'm the lone survivor on the Fabinski train, but I think he's just so relentless with his wrestling. There's not going to be a chance for Meerschaert to get off any strikes. Well, and when he gets taken down, the top control is relentless. And your whole thing is he's going to win by strikes, by hammer fist on the side of the head against the cage. Get the hell out of here.
No, I'm saying no. Hey, listen to what I said. I said he's going to hurt him, and he's going to be hurt, and that's when he makes those dumb dive for legs because he's hurt, and then that's when he TKOs him. But this is also, too, if it goes to the ground, 3 of Fabinski's 4 losses are submissions. Meerschaert's got like 23 submissions in his career. So,
yeah, I just don't see it. And submissions off your back against a wrestler that good are very different than submissions off.
I wouldn't bank on that, but I got to go back and watch the Duran Win fight. I know he gassed out later in that fight, and I think he got takedowns easy. But Duran Win, I believe, is on a different level of wrestling than Fabinski. But I don't know. I just think Meerschaert, like literally game plan wise, like you could repeat the same sparring session every day to get the look that you're going to get from Fabinski every time.
And you're right. The very, very, very one-dimensional game plan is good and bad. It's bad because, like you said, it's easy to prepare for. At least you know what's going to happen. But also to prepare for that, he may be afraid to throw any kicks, afraid to throw any punches, afraid to commit to anything because the shot's coming. And he's just waiting for a shot.
No, I don't think, but that's what I think Gerald is a good enough wrestler. I think he trusts his wrestling enough to where he's not scared. He doesn't, if he gets taken down, I think he's not worried about getting taken down. So I think he's comfortable with that. I agree that happens a lot with people, but I think Gerald trusts his own wrestling enough to where, if he takes a shot, he feels like he can defend the shot. And if he happens to get taken down, I feel like he can get back to his feet.
Yeah,
Fabinski has 0 submissions too, by the way. I'm just looking it up.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. His top control is impressive. Too bad there's no stat to show how many people get out from underneath.
Jesus, Meerschaert has 23 subs.
Yeah,
I think you said
100%.
That. Wow.
I think let me backpedal.
Are you going to? Oh, here we go. Is he going to changing his pick again?
I'm not changing my pick.
Remember the last time we talked, you had a pick?
Oh, yeah.
That was great. And then he won.
Fabinski,
I don't think it ever made the video. I don't think the people level saw it.
Well, we don't control the recap video. It's all Angelo highlights, I'm sure.
In my lineup, I'm not wavering from that But I will say Meerschaert is probably one of the livest dogs in this entire card, and it's perfect for a lock of the week. You really messed up here. But I do think Fabinski wins. I think his wrestling and his top control are just too much. But we'll see what happens. I'm the lone survivor here, so don't necessarily put all your eggs in my basket. But I'm gonna love this breakdown and the recap. I'm gonna love it.
You put the eggs in his basket, and he's gonna eat those things.
A fat joke. That's very appropriate. Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests, and as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.